There is no secret that Akane has got a lot of dead flags. It seems like it's the only flag Akane can wave, and because of that, a lot of people are expecting Akane to leave us for good, to fall into a deep, eternal sleep. But flags aside, what I would rather look into is whether Akane's death would make sense and whether it serves a purpose, other than a shock factor. And let's start a bit light and think about Akane's role in the story. What role and purpose does Akane serve? When we look at the main cast, we can easily say that Aqua's role is to avenge Ai. He's got some trauma and sister issues he needs to take care of, but his main role is to avenge Ai. Ruby's role is to continue Ai's legacy, to become an idol, to perform at the Dome. Kana acts as a guide for the twins and their journey in the entertainment industry, while also being a comforting presence for both of them. She's also the main love interest for Aqua. Memcho's role is to be a wingman. No, she's in charge of keeping the cast grounded, helping them in different situations like the Akane scandal, helping them fulfill their dreams like with Ruby's idol group. She's like a soft therapist, which the cast desperately needs. And then there's Akane, whose role is quite obvious, right? She feeds Aqua and us, the audience, information about the main culprit in this murder mystery, Hikaru Kamiki, which in turn moves the mystery plot forward. She does this through her genius detective skills, which in other terms is called a plot device. Now, why though? Why am I calling it a plot device? Because she feeds the audience information that would otherwise be unknown to us. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Akane is just a plot device, she's not, she's a great character, quite well written, but her role is very specific. Now, if we set that role aside, then what's Akane's purpose? And this is important because when a character serves its purpose, one of the three things happens. They stick around just because, they are set aside, and by that I mean they usually leave to do something else that's not important to the story, or they die. And in a series where that's a common thing to happen to a talented actress, Kamiki, it becomes quite a likely option. She already fed us everything we need to know about Kamiki, and there's nothing left she can feed us. So now, what's her purpose in the story? Well, currently it is to stop Aqua's plan, right? As she says in chapter 116, that's her decision to oppose Aqua. However, Aqua's plan is basically the movie. 15 Years of Lies. If the movie gets published, then his plan will happen, right? We know from the flash forwards that the movie was a huge success, it was completed and premiered. Therefore, one way or another, Aqua's plan happened. Does that mean Akane failed to stop it? Not necessarily. We know from chapter 116 that Akane doesn't need to play the role of Ai for her to achieve her goal of stopping Aqua. The only thing she could theoretically do is somehow alter the scenario for the movie, change the script for that part that would kill Kamiki, which I'm confident she just cannot do. She doesn't have the influence to change Aqua or Gotanda's minds, and she cannot act on her own self because it's a movie, not a live scene. So movie-wise, she cannot stop it from happening, and she cannot change the script. Also, she cannot do something during the filming because we know for sure the movie happened. And so, if she cannot stop the movie from happening, then how she can oppose Aqua? And there are two possible choices. One, have somebody else influence Aqua to alter the script. Akane isn't significant enough to Aqua anymore to have that power, and the only person that could do that is Kana. Because Gotanda is on board with Aqua, and Ruby would never not agree with Aqua, especially after she learned his identity, so Kana could theoretically have some influence on Aqua, and be the one to bring him back from his self-destruction. But I don't think this will happen. I think the movie will happen as intended because Aqua mentioned in his flash forward that acting is still his revenge, so he hasn't given up on that. The other possibility would be to eliminate Kamiki before the movie, which would inevitably render the script useless and remove Kamiki entirely. If he's already dead, then there's no need to kill him with the movie, right? And who could possibly attempt that? Well, somebody who knows his appearance and whereabouts. Ding ding ding. This may sound a bit odd, right? Why would Akane, who chose to oppose Aqua, help his revenge by putting Kamiki to sleep? Because it's the only way she could try to oppose him. Aqua told her off. told her to leave him and his revenge alone, not to be part of any of it, and so, by meddling in it, she would oppose him. She wouldn't succeed, obviously, since the movie happened, but at least she would try to fulfill her purpose. Now, Akane dying doesn't really come as a surprise, since she's been treading on thin ice for quite a while now. Kana's interview from her flash forward also kind of implies Akane's death as well. Kana says that she's no prodigy, and then she says that even an unrivaled prodigy would die if you stab them. Now, some people think she was referring to Ai, but Ai wasn't a prodigy. A prodigy is, first of all, a child. We know for sure that Ai was just a bumpkin when Ichigo recruited her and she needed acting training to improve her performance and style and charisma. So Ai didn't start as a great idol, she became one. On the other hand, Akane was a method acting prodigy, something Kana acknowledged in chapter 66. Another important thing that happened in the same chapter is the conversation between Kaburagi and Kindaichi. Notice how Kaburagi is very excited about Kana, calling her the real deal, saying that she has what he calls star power. Kindaichi, on the other hand, recognizes Akane's acting abilities, even saying that he thought she had peaked, but notice how he is interested in another person. That person is Aqua, but let's not get into that. The point is that Akane seems to be put in the same category as Taiki, for example. Great actors who almost reach their peaks, but they do not have that brilliance, that star power that Kaburagi is talking about. In simpler narrative terms, they are not as important. And so Akane is not as important as Kana. She's not a love interest, she doesn't serve as a guide, she doesn't have that much room to grow. Her purpose diminishes very, very fast. She opposes Aqua now, but we know she'll most likely fail given the flash forwards, and so, what else is left for her to do? She cannot be friends with Aqua after everything that happened because most of Akane's attachment to Aqua and even love for him comes from the fact that he saved her. Not only did Aqua literally save her life, but also her career. Now, Akane hasn't been able to repay him yet. Throughout the manga, in way too many instances, we can see that Akane wants to save Aqua in his darkest moment, the same way he saved her. Repay him so they can be on equal ground. She even goes against Aqua's plan just so she can save him somehow. So Akane would do anything for Aqua, but why? I don't doubt that she loves him, but doing anything no questions asked and going to extreme measures to protect Aqua, is it love? Is it obsession? Is it death? And this is interesting because if we look at Akane's actions regarding Kamiki, all she does is go behind Aqua's back, do some detective work to try and kill Kamiki herself, save Aqua from his self-destruction revenge. But is this going to make Aqua happy, love her, be saved, or repay her debt? You saved me in my darkest moment and now I did too. All she's been doing throughout the manga is to enable Aqua's revenge, and this is important. Akane is enabling Aqua's revenge. You can't stop a fire by putting petrol on top of it now, can you? What's also interesting is that Akane doesn't actually understand Aqua. She just thinks about what's the best outcome for Aqua, what choices would be the best for Aqua from her perspective. I would even say that Akane developed a I can fix him kind of complex. Maybe not that extreme, but she does obsess a little bit over him. A scene that tricks a lot of people happens in chapter 52 on the balcony. Aqua tries to scare Akane with his "I'll kill someone" revenge, and Akane replies by saying she would help him kill that person. It doesn't matter if he's right or wrong, she'll still do it, which leans a bit towards obsession on Akane's part. But when we look at how she helped him, she actually didn't. She wanted to solve things by herself, not with Aqua. We, the audience, know of her detective work because we follow her through that, and Aqua only knows because he used a bug on her. In chapter 97, we can see that obsession taking over Akane. While she's on her way to kill Kamiki, she talks to herself about how, when the deed is done, she and Aqua will celebrate with a parfait, eat delicious food, go on a trip together. From there on, they'll always be together. This obsession peaks when she tells Aqua that she would go to hell with him. Now you have to keep in mind that Aqua didn't tell Akane about his revenge, she figured it out herself. Akane was already attached and indebted to Aqua in chapter 52 and she expressed her wish to be by his side. Now it could be that Aqua took advantage of her because of her deductive skills and didn't care for her at that time, which should be the case since he planted a bug on her after Love Now, but regardless, from that point onwards the relationship was tied together for the purpose of revenge, with both following their own separate paths to achieve that. That's the important thing. Aqua used Akane to find out as much as possible about Kamiki so he can get his revenge himself, while Akane figured out as much as possible about Kamiki so she can take him out without Aqua knowing. Which makes the relationship kind of a lie, especially when you realize that they only learn and reveal things about each other out of guilt or using tricks. And this shouldn't come as a surprise given that when it comes to Aqua, Akane's big stick is that she can copy Ai's personality. She doesn't resemble Ai, don't take the wrong conclusion, she is the polar opposite of Ai, she just copied her personality. And that's the reason Aqua was initially interested in her. And as we know from chapter 98, he planted a bug on her shortly after their time at Love Now ended and never took it off her. This proves that Aqua never had any intention of trying to have a relationship with Akane, which is especially interesting when we take into consideration chapter 78. That's the point where Aqua set his revenge aside and revealed to Akane that he has been using her. The thing is that Akane doesn't mind that. She would rather be used than lose her relationship with Aqua. And here's where I'm pretty sure Aqua chose to have a relationship with Akane out of guilt. He used this girl who genuinely loves him, and now that his revenge is over, he could at least make up for it. And the reason I'm saying this is because Aqua did not remove the bug from Akane. He met Ichigo in chapter 95. That's when he found out his father is still alive and his revenge returned. In chapter 96, we are told that Aqua and Akane did not meet yet, and they will not get together at the award ceremony that would take place the next day. The big point here is that Aqua and Akane did not meet from chapter 95 until chapter 98, and so Aqua did not have a chance to plant another bug on Akane, meaning that he never removed the initial bug. Aqua's priority is revenge, and throughout his revenge, Akane has been a competent tool. With her genius detective skills, she has been able to solve all of Aqua's mysteries, which culminated in chapter 97 with the reveal of Kamiki. That's when her usefulness turned into uselessness. She served her purpose. Her role in the story is ending soon, and I might even go as far as to say that Akane will not make it for the movie premiere.